Well, welcome again, guys, to 5 Minutes with a Founder. Today we have a very special guest, one that I've been badgering for months to try and do. She is quite incredible, the founder of Kurokids. Rachel, how are you doing?
Hello, I'm doing very well, thank you.
Thank you very much for doing this again. We'll try and make this again as close to 5 minutes as I can possibly get. I'm not great at it, but we will. Otherwise, the title means nothing. So if you can lead us away and give us a little introduction to what you guys do, and then we'll get cracking with the questions.
Cool. What we're trying to do is really reinvent childcare, and childcare is incredibly difficult for parents. It's too expensive, it's inflexible, it's total pain to organise. It's very vulnerable to, your childcare being sick or your kid being sick or whatever. And it's very hard to find quality childcare in general. So we're starting from this blank sheet of paper. What would you do if you were setting up a childcare service using all of the insights from startups, from other industries, and using all the tech that's available? So what we do is we focus on after school care at the moment. It's a particularly neglected area of childcare. Yeah. Our vision is to provide all childcare 0 to 5s, but we have to start somewhere, so we're very focused on after school care in London.
Okay, amazing. Well, a much needed idea, and fingers crossed everything carries on going as well. We'll put all the articles. There's been quite a few articles and papers and websites. We'll attach them all to the link so everyone can read more about it. But now you as a founder, that's what we'll get cracking with the questions. So the first one is, how old were you when you first tried a venture?
I think I was pretty young. I was one of those kids who was always doing little startups. Sometimes got in trouble for them. I remember my mum.
About like lemonade stand.
I remember my mum getting pretty annoyed when I set up a lottery scheme where the house always won. I had to give back all the money to all my friends. I was very annoyed. I had this great system.
As long as it was a lottery scheme, not a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah. So no, I started doing that. I've always wanted to be a startup founder, and what I ended up doing was I went to McKinsey for 6 years, and then I was a CEO of a health company. But all the time, I really, really wanted to start something, and I was just waiting for the big idea. I had like 1,000 terrible ideas. I was constantly having terrible ideas, and none of them really grabbed me. I would get excited about something for 2 days, and then I would start to see the flaws and why it was actually a terrible idea. And it was only when I happened upon the idea that I am now working on, that it was the first time that I didn't get bored of it, and I didn't see all the flaws after a few days. The more I thought about it, the more excited I got. The more I worked on it, the more I thought someone has to do this.
Do you think founders? Do you think people are born as founders, or do you think you can evolve into being a founder? I mean, the way you're talking.
Definitely. Yeah, I think there's lots of different kinds of founders. People bring different kinds of strengths. So, a technical founder could be very different to a service design founder. Some founders are super mission driven, and others just really, really, really want to found something. So I think people have all sorts of different drivers and all sorts of different strengths. I think maybe the thing that everyone has to have in common is you have to be super proactive. You are rolling a ball up a mountain in the hope that at some point the ball will go over the mountain and start running down of its own accord. But you've got to have it's a certain kind of stupidity or something that makes you want to push this boulder up a mountain.
You never know how big that mountain can be.
No, exactly. You're pushing this boulder which is growing or changing and kicking you and stuff. You're pushing it up this mountain. You don't know how big the mountain is.
Okay, next one. In your whole kind of time of doing this, have you had any role models, or not necessarily that you've met? It could be people you've seen from afar. Any role models?
So the entrepreneur I most admire is Elon Musk.
Yes.
I just think the audaciousness of his thinking is super inspiring. He's a guy who
that word often gets tagged.
Audacity.
Yeah.
But it's like he just does not take received wisdom as a given. He questions everything, and he goes right back to first principles of like, if it doesn't contravene the laws of physics, he doesn't understand why it can't be done. He doesn't take societal norms as a given.
Status quo.
No, and that is just so inspirational. I don't think there's anyone on the planet that thinks as he does. So I find that super inspiring.
Nice. Yeah, it's good. Obviously, well, on Elon Musk, he's had a few failures as well. Have you had any failures that you've learned from in your time to get into where you are?
Yeah, definitely. Big ones, little ones, public ones, not ones. Held my grade 8 clarinet.
That was the one I found out in my research, and I almost called off the interview.
Oh, it was a big deal at the time. No, I mean, like I've hired the wrong people. I've launched the wrong product. I mean, all manner of things in school, and that is just completely part of it. I love Amazon's approach to failure, which is put out in one of his shareholders' letters. It was really, really worth reading, his wonderful shareholders' letters. And he talks about how failure is the price of innovation, and if you're not failing at least part of the time, then you cannot be innovating.
No, 100%. Well, actually, we'll probably I'll whack a link into that
cool.
when we put this up, because I've read it. It is a good one. So if there was, for Kurokids, if there was a plaque in a bar, a restaurant, a hotel, anywhere that could say this is where this idea or this was founded, where would that be? Where one place do you suddenly think, yeah, this could actually happen?
Well, I did a lot of work in the Café Rouge in the Euston Station Piazza. Nothing about that is glamorous.
I was going to say, do they have good Wi-Fi?
Well, we spent Kurokids, probably where the plaque would be Kurokids spent the first year of our life in an old derelict Victorian hospital near Euston Station that will soon be knocked down, and the reason we were there is because it was free. So we had this great location. The great thing about it, location near Euston Station, brilliant. Bad thing about it, everything else, it was cold. The Wi-Fi didn't really work. The toilets didn't often work. The meeting rooms doors didn't really shut, and the meeting had to wedge them with a plank. It was literally, it was the opposite of a WeWork. It was literally the opposite of that. But it was free, and we were trying to keep costs down, and it was we weren't squatters. It was a Camden council.
Are we sure we're broadcasting this one?
No, it's fine. No, it was a wonderful Camden Council initiative, and when you hear about it, you think, well, why is not every council should be doing this? But basically, they said, here's some space no one is using. Here's a building which is about to get knocked down, not because it's structurally unsound, but there was a HS2 rail link being built through the middle of London. It's in the path of it, so it's going to get knocked down, but it's not going to get knocked down for about 2 years. So why don't we just let startups be in there? And you think, well, everywhere, every council should do this, and there's tons of empty space, and just give some startups some free space. So that would be where our plaque would be.
Amazing. That's actually very true. I hadn't actually really thought about that. It'd be good to investigate that a bit further. Just so on this actually moves quite nicely on to the next question, because it's about to say what's good working Kurokids. Presumably the toilets are working better now in the latest offices.
Amazing. I mean,
I see you're hiring. If you're going to be attracting people, we
have toilets, guys. We have toilets. It's fine. No, so we really are now somewhere that is. When we first arrived, we were like, this is nice. This is so nice. We're now working in a very, very lovely co-working space. It's got a gym. It's got snacks. It's all good. It's very nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
How many people are you now?
So today, I think we're about 22. We are growing very fast. We had 4 new starters on Monday.
Wow.
And yes, and we're I'm spending about half my time recruiting at the moment. So we're growing very fast. Cool.
Well, hopefully people will see this and, get their resumes over to you.
Yeah.
The last question is one that we've been pretty big on, technology people, in in as much kind of discussing it as trying to think of ideas. But obviously you're quite well placed. What do you think about the gender imbalance in tech, and what can be done? What initiatives can be done? And to kind of, is it as bad as people are saying?
Yeah, I think these are really important, and not just in loads of different arenas, and in getting people to talk about things that happen, to women. I think there's so many, the support there for female founders. There are so many conferences, events, networks, various different email lists and things that you can get on. So I feel like an immense, almost oppressive amount of support. I feel I'm sort of, I cannot go to all of the events that there are for female founders. So I don't think the problem is a lack of support at all. I mean, I would say this, but I do think childcare is a major, major, major issue.
Is
and
that something I've got to strip down? Do you think it's more? I was going to say, yeah. Do you think it's more initiatives like yourselves that could actually be more beneficial in the long run in allowing it to proceed?
Yeah, I think one of the things that's happened over the last 5 years is employers have started to really offer more flexible working and really move their employment practices. Of course, for founders, you're working all the time anyway. So, yeah, it's flexible, but flexible just means you can work all the time from anywhere. But in both cases, whether you're a founder or an employee, I think the challenge that a lot of parents have is finding the childcare that enables them to actually do what they want to do. So this isn't. I mean, one thing is this doesn't have to. Parents is not women, right? Like that doesn't have to be a gender. That's not necessarily a gender thing, in theory, but in practice, it usually is.
Yeah.
So what we do with Kurokids, it doesn't need to be just about women, but 95% of the people that contact us are moms. So I do think childcare is absolutely vital in helping women, do whatever they want to do, whether that is being a startup founder or being an employee or whatever.
Definitely, yeah. Well, I think just on something that I've noticed is that in tech, if we want to try and address the imbalance, use tech to help it. Literally use all that we've got at our disposal to help with the imbalance. Amazing. Like I said, I'm trying to keep this to 5 minutes. We've already gone over, but it is amazing to hear your story. I think what you're doing is fantastic. I myself have 11 nephews and nieces. So I know how much my brothers and sisters have found how difficult they found the childcare. So I'll be passing it around to them for sure, and we'll put all the links with this interview, so everyone can get in touch, whether it be nannies wanting to work, whether it's parents wanting to get involved with it, and best of luck with everything in the future.
Cool, thank you.
Brilliant. Thanks very much, Rachel.
All right, cheers.
Cheers.